week 11, November, certainly, time of year where toughen up and suck it up and keep going forward. Everybody's around the country's banged up. Everybody's feeling those bumps and bruises a little bit more. Got to buckle up and go. Our guys have had a good couple weeks of prep so far, and we know we're facing a very talented team. You look at their season, how it's gone so far. They're beating Arkansas State with a minute to go. They're beating Western Kentucky with seconds to go. They're beating Lafayette by 2 touchdowns with 3 minutes 8 seconds to go, and they've come up on the wrong end of some of those football games. So again, as talented as anyone in the Sun Belt, very well coached by Coach Todd Berry. I've got a tremendous amount of respect for. I actually worked with him before, back in 2006, and we got to prepare and be at our best this coming Saturday.
They're not in bowl contention anymore, but they certainly don't act like it. I mean, the way they beat Middle Tennessee 42-14. Just talk about what you saw from that game.
Well, it was almost a mirror image of ourselves this past Saturday, where the offense really got click and ran the ball really well. And of course, Colton Browning, like he has been all year, very effective, very efficient in the passing game, and he certainly can hurt you with his feet as well. And their defense, who was ranked, first in the conference against a run, really did a great job against Middle. It was 35-0, halfway through the second quarter. So they got, like you said, they got clicking, they got going, and they play with a lot of pride, a lot of passion. They know they're a good football team. They know they've had some errors, So, we expect this thing to be, like at all a typical Sun Belt game where it comes down to, the last couple of plays, possession, whatever it may be. It's going to be a heck of a football game.
You mentioned their fast start too. They outscored opponents 56-14 in the first quarter. How important is it going to be to get them off to a fast start?
Always, especially a quarterback like that. Obviously the entire team feeds off of him. Not take away from, their running backs are excellent. Jairus Edwards has had a tremendous year as well. Receiver there, as athletic as could be. And I know they got their tight end back, who's a real big physical guy, a former defensive end who played last year against us at defensive end. 280-pound kid that can really move the line of scrimmage and change things on the edge. A guy that they pull as well, in the running game. So they've really, they're kind of where they want to be back health-wise offensively, and I think it's what's made them dangerous. And I think they showed it last week. And a team like that, it's a you can't waste a possession. In Sun Belt football games, you really can't waste one. Not only our games, look at across the entire Sun Belt Conference, every single game is coming down to that last possession or overtime. So in this case, with as good as their quarterback is and his supporting cast, even more so.
Kendrick Rhodes is about to reach 1,000 yards. He's 42 yards away. What does that say for your program, for a program that is now producing 1,000-yard back?
Well, it says a lot. I think, Kendrick is a talented guy in a talented backfield. There are some guys there that last year, I think, cumulatively accounted for 2,400 yards of offense. In a crowded backfield, Ked has done a phenomenal job separating himself a little bit. And not only what he does when he touches a football, but what he does in the passing game as well when he touches it, but also in the passing game when he's blocking. A tremendous and very physical blocker. I wish, it's something that's never going to make Sports Center when a tailback's involved in protection. But you watch the way he changed the demeanor of a defensive lineman with how physical he is in attacking, the line of scrimmage and attacking defensive ends and chipping when he's involved. And it says a lot for the program, says a lot for the offensive line. And that's what we set out to do when we want to build a program. Want to build a program, and you combine that with the fact that now for the second year in a row we're now bowl eligible. It's becoming a legitimate program, not just a team of bits and pieces and parts here and there. A legitimate football program that strives to win championships and be in a bowl game every single year.
How does Jake Medlock progress this week?
He's done well. I think when we saw, he's a physical guy, he's a fiery guy, an emotional guy. He's got a big arm, a live arm. And I think, that first snap back there as a starter is always, I don't care how many games you play. Remember, he was hurt in high school. He got hurt his senior year, his first game. He runs. He likes physical football. He plays it like a fullback does when he carries the ball. And he hurt himself, so he hadn't played. Besides the game against Lafayette, he hadn't played, I think, one game in almost 24 months. And so once he settled in, he got going pretty good. He's had a real good week. Wes has had a real good week as well. I think more than anything, it's great attitude and great response, by both guys in terms of the approach, in terms of competing, in terms of just doing whatever we have to do to win a football game.
How are
So
you
it's been good.
How are you dividing time?
Well, he's going first. Jake has been going first. When we rep a lot in practice, we are a tempo offense. As you see, we're in no huddle. We try to go fast. We try to simulate that in practice as well. And that takes the place of conditioning as the season goes on. More plays and less running after practice. Probably the best thing to get in football shape. Both those guys have gotten a ton of reps, yesterday and today, and it'll go that way all the way through.
Medlock's more of a running quarterback. ULM, though, they have the best rushing defense in the Sun Belt. So how do you game plan against that using a running quarterback?
But yeah, you got to be pretty meticulous in your film study. You got to make sure you create situations that, number one, that we can be successful with. Number two, that you're not getting ahead of yourself and confusing a young quarterback. You know what I mean? You have to make sure that you're game planning to your strengths to try to attack whatever weaknesses they may show. But you have to realize they don't show many weaknesses. They're an odd front. They jump in a four-man front as well, multiple coverages. They stack it when they go that three-man front as well, the 50 defense, 30 stack, however you want to call it. And they'll disguise coverages really well. Okay, and I think that's why they've been so effective, not only stopping the run, but getting turnovers. They've been a real good defense. So for Jake and the rest of the offense, a tremendous challenge because they've been good. They've had, I believe, the most 3-and-outs forced by defense in the conference so far. And you know what that does in terms of field position, changes the field and whatnot. So, yeah, there's a ton of film study. We know what this game is as tough and as physical and as mentally challenging as any game that we've had because of all the things and all the different looks they give you. And not only on defense, but offensively as well.